All right, NPC time.
Woo.
Yeah, how good.
How good.
Have we finally made it
It's the business end.
to the
one
final round of the regular season?
The picture is starting to clear up.
But there's plenty to play for.
Oh, yeah. It's set up really well. But before we get stuck into our 9, got to let Paul Mahadi take a moment to bask in the glow that will be the Ranfurly Shield spending the summer in the capital city.
Oh, isn't it good?
You've always believed in your Lions. You've never...
Isn't it wonderful? Wonderful. Boy, I've lost a lot of money on them. It's all been worth it.
You should have put a couple of kebabs on last week. I think I would have been
I would have
more than happy to take that.
Yeah.
I'm happy to just take the loggerwood.
Fair enough.
Very, very.
But yeah, I do think like sort of putting a forward-facing lens on that performance, that was a proper performance by Wellington. Like Waikato were all sort of, we had them in probably our top 2 or 3 teams in the competition.
Yes.
And, you know, it was close for a while, but they really shut down a Waikato backline that is full of talent and, yeah, sort of put the nail in the coffin late on.
That's the thing. The defense has been the standout for the Wellington team. Certainly over the last game, the Ranfurly Shield challenge against Hawke's Bay, and then the defense against Waikato.
Well, that's 2 weeks a row, and against 2 of the better teams, they haven't conceded a try.
That defense has been that, and well, they say defense wins championships.
Are you starting to believe, Paul Mahadi?
Don't. I'm just happy the Shield's here where it belongs, at home in Wellington. We'll see what happens next season. But
six in a row now, is it? 6 wins in a row?
Since that Northland loss
I
at
think it is,
Porirua Park.
No more home games at Porirua Park.
No, we'll always take one to Jerry Collins, surely.
Have a few games at the Hut Wreck.
Oh, come on, do that.
But like now as well, Wellington with Bay of Plenty losing to Northland yesterday, all they need to do is beat counties and you're guaranteed at least a home quarter and a home semi.
I think even if they lose, because Bay of Plenty play Waikato, don't they? So
that whoever's Waikato, because Waikato are just there as well. So whoever wins that game would, in theory,
jump out, but would still finish second.
Yes, but you'd rather finish first.
Oh, well, 100%, but that would still guarantee a
home quarter.
A quarter, yeah.
Anyway, the action in
how good, Rissy? How good's the comp?
I'm just happy for you, Paul. Yeah, it's been a great comp, and yeah, the fact we come down to the wire and still plenty to play for in the last round.
All over the place.
I don't think it speaks to this format, not the odds and evens because that's all nonsense, but the having everyone in one 14-man competition where you can still win the big prizes, because usually by this there's maybe one semi-final spot in each division and you kind of know what's going to happen. But yeah, there is plenty to play for. And
look, there's only 4 teams who can't make the quarterfinals, right? The bottom 2 of each conference.
Yeah, and there's sort of, you can have teams in both conferences jumping 3 spots.
Yes.
Yeah, so
a win here and you do make the quarters, a loss and you don't. So or a loss, you lose your home field advantage. It's
Taranaki, Tasman proving the worth of getting a bonus bet or 2, sitting on 8 bonus bets.
Bonus bets.
Wait, just in my mind at the moment, just in my mind, the bonus points. You get a bonus bet. You get a bonus bet. They've got 8 of them, and Northland's got 2. They've lost. They've won 1 less game than Northland, but they're 2 points ahead on the table. So plenty to play for.
So Northland need the Magpies to do them a wee bit of a favour on Friday night.
And that is where the action begins this weekend. McLean Park in Napier, Friday night. Hawke's Bay, $1.52 favourite. So not, I think they were about the same price for the Shield Challenge a couple of weeks ago. Not overwhelming. Couldn't quite get the job done in the battle for the Bay as they went down to the Bay.
I think they're a wee bit longer. They may have opened at around 152-ish and then drifted out to about 160, 165, something like that.
I reckon that's right.
Late. So, yeah, they've got everything to play for, as we know.
Like Hawke's Bay,
the winner
outside the playoffs. Yeah,
winner definitely makes the quarters.
Yes. Well, not Hawke's Bay. Because could still miss if Otago beat Canterbury. But the loser definitely does not, you'd have to say.
Tasman could lose.
Unless it's turbo time in Kaikohe on Sunday.
You're right. Loser definitely doesn't. You make
that was unnecessary, Paul. But yeah, there's a lot to play for. I'm still thinking that Tasman aren't quite back. I think there's a little bit of, like, they ran away with it in the second game against Northland. Yes, that was an impressive performance on the scoreboard. You got to give them some credit there. But I don't think losing to Auckland is actually all that impressive, because I just don't think Auckland are all that good. And then, they beat Taranaki, another team that's struggling before that. So I do think just Hawke's Bay is still a step above.
We got a couple of All Blacks on the bench.
Yes, both Whanganuku and Reese on the bench, but
Will they? Is that where they will stay?
Yeah. Do they? Yeah. Sorry. Fatuli's got a bit of a tight heavy, and you'd think you just start them, right? Like,
well, this is
Why would you not?
a huge game.
yeah, like
Depending on the line.
like they could be 14-0 down, like 14 points down at half time or something, and then I don't think Hawke's Bay is conceding like a big comeback, even if you do have Whanganuku and Reese on the field. So it's a very interesting one for me. I think the 4.5 looks pretty light. I'm pretty keen to take Hawke's Bay here because I do still think they have the infrastructure in place to losing on the road to Bay of Plenty, who won the form team of the competition, isn't actually that shameful of a loss, in my opinion.
The one that's really going to bite them is that loss to Canterbury.
Oh yeah, I'm still feeling the effects in my pocket as well.
I'm not. Well, I am.
That's one.
They didn't cover. I'll remind you.
They gave that one away.
1 to 12 was my bet that game. So,
but look, they win. Then they wait and see what happens with that. Well, Canterbury could really, really, really do a job on them here. First of all, stealing the win from them middle of the regular season, and then if Canterbury decide to lose to Otago.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. No teams for that game yet, are there?
No, and Canterbury have nothing to play for.
Yeah,
apart from Southern Pride.
Yeah, like they didn't have anything to play for last week, and they still smoked Auckland.
Yeah, but what? Yeah. So they're at home. This is their sort of last chance to pick up some sort of silver. They've lost the title of the Bay.
Yes, lost the Rainfully Shield.
The Shield's gone, so this is
they'll be hurting.
Sort of
big bounce back, I reckon.
I can see it. It just crocky. Introduce Severeese and Whanganuku into a starting 15, and I'm thinking, hello, things can happen. But at the moment, as the team stand, I favour Hawke's Bay.
Yeah, I think Hawke's Bay do it reasonably comfortably.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, it's one of my. I think it will show up in my betting plan for the weekend.
What are the other sort of
Fakatava coming off the bench as well?
Yeah, helpful when you've got two of the 4 best halfbacks in New Zealand in the squad.
Very helpful.
I mean, we're backing Harbour to lock up second spot, and
you kind of have to.
Right?
Yeah, like it's always
Southland got their win last week.
Yeah, it's always hard to go down there. Maybe Southland with the points. I think it's about 18.5. So
just be because Harbour, they know they only need the 4 points. So it must be sort of get in, get out. Don't
They factor in my staking plan.
North Harbour.
Yeah,
they do. You could get I think if you were, I don't know, say you had a $55,000 bonus bet to use and you just wanted to guarantee a return, like a Harbour Wellington multi at about $1.50 is looking pretty good.
Nice and juicy. Yeah, I think and Harbour's playing good. Well, they're second in the conference, aren't they? So they're playing some great footy.
Battle of Bridge in the finals.
Absolutely love to see it.
Albany will be rocking
because they came out firing in that. Was it in the round 1 or 2?
They were up, I think, 12 over Auckland, but then came flying at the top.
So that could be a good game.
Do we give Otago? Like, you guys are waiting to see squads.
Yeah, yes. I think so, but I still think, as you said, Canterbury last week, nothing to play for, rested a few guys, and still beat Auckland by 20. So I think, I think Canterbury will be too good. And the point start at the moment is only about 6.5, so might not be a bad one to
bonus bet. Canterbury 13 plus.
Yeah,
I will be having a bit on.
What's the price bet one? Do you know?
About 240.
Oh yeah, don't mind that. Yeah, don't mind that at all.
You, faith in your Lions to lock up top spot in their conference as well with a win in Pukekohe on Sunday?
No.
Okay. Not your multi-anchor of the weekend?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No. Look, if they're going to drop one over the next 2 or 3 weeks, then this is the week to do it. And they've been playing at a very, very high level for the last, 6 weeks.
Gunners have been good at home as well this season.
They have been very,
obviously
very good.
Got close to Canterbury. They beat Otago. They beat. Who else did they beat? Beat someone else who's they shouldn't have beat at home. So
Manawatu.
This could be a wee bit of a sort of a letdown week for the Lions. So
maybe the plus.
They're not going to be my lock for the weekend.
Yeah. Anyway, I think so. The other game in the round, Sunday afternoon, two teams probably playing for a home semi-final.
Yes,
and it's the last game of the
what Wellington
last
does.
game of the round as well.
Yeah.
4:30 game.
Waikato against against the Bay.
The Bay.
The Bay.
Did you feel it at 4 o'clock
so
when
you just felt
you
the
were in
air
Hawke's
sort of
Bay? Yeah,
let out the atmosphere as the transfer.
a real mood, real mood swing.
But yeah, Bay of Plenty, they rested a lot of players and that lost in Northland on Wednesday afternoon. I'm not sure if they're sort of regretting that now or not, but you'd have to think they're going to be pretty fresh, and they've been playing some very good footy prior to that. Obviously, the win over Hawke's Bay and some big scores in the previous weeks. Like this beating Harbour or putting 48 points on Harbour a couple of weeks ago looks, even more impressive in hindsight. And then, they're going out and beating Otago and Otago. Can they score another upset on the road here, or the Mulu sort of?
Yeah, it's a funny one. I think they definitely can. The Mulu, obviously, coming off 2 losses, they were looking like, the
Almost
second
unbeatable,
best team in the
About
comp.
3 weeks ago.
But they've sort of just eased off a little bit. They'll be pretty disappointed in their performance. Well, I mean, it wasn't that they played bad. I think Wellington just outplayed them, and they just couldn't. They just couldn't break their defense. So I'm for this game, I'm expecting some entertainment, some points. There's no official total points line, but I think the over could be a good go. I think the 6 straight have gone over 50 points, and about 3 or 4 of them have been 65, 70 plus points. So I'm expecting a few points, but I'm definitely wouldn't be shying away from but Bay of Plenty head-to-head there, or even with the points.
I think we are in some pretty rubbish weather up and around the Upper North Island on Sunday afternoon. So that all 3 games sort of taking place.
Oh, okay.
Hamilton North, something just to keep in mind for the punters. But yeah, I think that probably plays into Bay of Plenty's hands, right? Like they'd back themselves up front, and it's North Waikato's backs that might be the difference maker.
I think Waikato win this one. I think they bounce back.
They really weren't like, I know the final score line was, but
they weren't
that
terrible.
was a 7-point game with 20 minutes to go, and Waikato before the hooker goes and puts one of the great shoulder charges on TJ and gets himself put in the bin. They were on the verge of very easily could have equalised there, and then it's all to play for in the last 20. So yeah, whether they do hit a flat spot or they're defending champs, they know how to rally in the last few weeks of it. So I still think just the amount of talent they've got in their backline, if it all clicks, Cook Savage is looking like a future All Black at fullback for them. If Leonard Brown does come back in alongside Mackenzie and Lewa and everyone else.
They've got a lot of hyphens.
Do they? Leonard Brown, Cook Savage, Kim Stabling, Dan Sinkinson on the wing as well.
They've been very, very good. I do think Waikato bounce back.
So we don't have any outrights up, but I'd still be having a bit on them if you can get sort of north of $5. I think.
Oh, we don't. They were up yesterday. I think it was
be up shortly again. I think. I still think they've got
Canterbury with $2.
Yeah,
so
there's no thanks.
Short, but
I just worry
understand why
Canterbury 3 weeks in a row against quality opposition. I'm still not sure they have enough points in them to they could hit a flat spot in one of those games and gets tripped up just the way they play, but.
They do have 175 points differential for the season.
Well, yeah, but they play a very specific style of rugby. They don't have the same dynamic backlines that some of the other top teams. Like you look at you match their backline up man for man against Waikato or Wellington or even Auckland, you'd have to say that
not the same.
Yeah,
not the same.
I still think they can win the forward pack. If the forward pack's not dominating, they can be slowed down a bit more.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Interesting quarterfinals.
Yeah, they obviously score a lot of points, but that's usually as a result of you think back to the Wellington game, that was because their forward pack was absolutely grinding Wellington to the dust, and then you had Cullen Grace charging over from 5-metre scrums.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. Like if you're not playing with that sort of field position, like you said, that was sort of the Hawke's Bay game, right? Hawke's Bay managed to sort of gain a bit of parity in the forward pack, and then it was Canterbury were relying on creating a bit the backline producing more points, which didn't happen until very late on.
Indeed.
Got the job done there.
You two are both with Canterbury though over the field in terms of the overall.
Well, I'm not taking the $2 sort of thing.
So no, then probably if you're not taking $2, you're saying there's less than a 50% chance they win it.
Well, if you give me the field at $2, I'll take the field.
$1.80.
You take the $2, Richard?
Hold on,
Yeah, I'll take $2.
Kebab?
Yep.
All right.
Go on.
Like, it's always good to have a kebab bet, but we might as well get to some actual betting before we let you two get back to your day.
Hold on a minute. What just happened there?
We could put a kebab on whether Canterbury will win the competition or not.
Who did?
Me and Richard.
I thought he was getting on that.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to get on that?
Yes.
You're
Richard
field as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll go for it.
Not so
Both of you.
confident all of a sudden.
Well, you only have to pay for one. Because he still owes you
Oh,
one.
he's still
Oh,
owes
yeah.
one.
Yeah, true.
There you go.
All right, lock it in. Yeah.
There you go.
If it were to happen.
I forgot about that, Paul. Thanks for reminding me.
No.
Yep, no.
All right, do you
We
want to
get some proper betting.
Yeah, well, kebab bets are very much profit betting, but some more imminent betting, shall we say? Because like we said, a lot of it very interesting games going on this weekend. Do you want to lead us off with your best bet, Richard?
Well, it was the total and points in the Bay of Plenty Waikato game, but the weather's there. The line's not up yet, so I'll just go Canterbury minus 6.5. Bet my boys now that I've got some kebabs on them.
Paul, best bet?
Waikato, $1.55. I know they've lost the last couple of weeks, but they haven't played poorly. They're back home. Just think back to the sort of performances they've been putting on prior to that. I think they win quite easily against Bay of Plenty and lock up at least second place in the odds
Yeah,
conference.
that should be a really good game. I'm really looking forward to that one. But my best bet is earlier in the weekend, Friday night. I'm just taking Hawke's Bay minus 4.5. I do think they have what it takes to get the job done against Tasman pretty comfortably. What about a bit of value for the punters, Richard?
I'm going to go halftime, full time in the Southland Harbour game. Southland halftime, Harbour full time. I think at $6. Southland, they haven't been. They've sort of had a few big wins recently, but they'll be lifted from their win on the weekend, and Harbour will know they just need a win. But yeah, I think Southland could keep it close, and then Harbour might run away with it a bit. So to $6 for that one there.
Very nice. How about you, Paul? What value do you like the look of?
Otago, head-to-head, 270.
Ooh.
I'll give them a chance. But obviously dependent on squad selections, but at the moment, they've got a lot to play for.
They did beat Waikato a couple of weeks ago, so they can.
They were my smoky early in the season, and they were doing a good job, but it's just fallen off a little bit. I think Canterbury will be too much for them, but good luck.
Yeah, they only scored 54 against Manawatu last week, so they've got to raise some questions.
Yeah, they'd be disappointed with that.
I don't mind Harbour 1 to 12 at $3.40. I think that could be, sort of.
Yeah.
Southland want to put up they're not going to clock off. They're at home last game of the season. We've talked about the rugby park factor on this podcast many times before.
Yeah.
I mean, Harbour just know they need to get the 4 points, so it's not like they're going to be chasing bonus points later on or anything. It'll be
Might be some burnt cheese rolls if they go up early in the game. How good.
Auckland obviously couldn't get outside that mark down at rugby park earlier in the season. So
No, they couldn't. It was close to them, wasn't it?
well, who's your best underdog? You've already given us one.
Counties Manukau
Ooh.
at 3.30. Look, they have played a lot better at Pookie than they have away from home. Wellington, look, really, really happy with that. Surely they're due a down week. So, I'd rather it be in the final round of the regular season as opposed to the quarterfinal.
Then when Hawke's Bay to come to town next weekend.
So and I don't know, they may put out a weekend, not their top squad, Wellington.
Yeah, I suppose it is. They've got they're another team. If we were sort of forensically examining their selections in the back line like we do with the All Blacks, there'd be a few guys would like to see get more.
Have a go here.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Right. All I'm saying is
Counties
Riley
Manukau.
Higgins should never move from that 12 jersey again for the next 10 years.
You go.
Until he's in the All Blacks in 2 years' time.
You heard it
But,
first.
yeah. Man's going to be a gun. My best underdog, Bay of Plenty, 245. I think they're. Chance.
I'm shouting out your boys, Patrick. Manawatu, $3.40.
How good. I think
Northland on the Storm week. They've
Oh, my goodness.
won 8 of the last 10 against Northland, so they know they can do it.
Tell you what,
Come on the Turbos.
might not be a bad little multi just for the way things go. If you go Tasman into Manawatu, because if Tasman win on Friday night, then Northland don't
nothing
have
to
anything to
play
play
for.
for. So you get $850 for that. Like,
There you go.
no, yeah, like Manawatu will want obviously get a win. Northland playing Kaikohe, and if they do have a final spot up for it, they will be up for it, no doubt. But yeah, Tasman win and that finals chance goes flying away. Then come on,
Come on the
boys.
Turbos.
Up the Turbos. Bonus back on 3 games this week. I think the late games each day, Hawke's Bay, Tasman, Canterbury, Otago, and Waikato Bay of Plenty. Any bonus back bets you guys like the look of?
Hawke's Bay 13 plus $3. Yeah, I think I don't know if Tasman are very good, and Hawke's Bay will be hurting and wanting to make a little statement before the finals. So love that one.
You got any lined up, Paul?
Waikato 1 to 12.
All right, yeah.
Just in case Bay of Plenty keep it a wee bit closer to the 9th thing. So yeah, Waikato 1 to 12.
Yeah, I'll have a bit on Canterbury 13 plus, like I said. I think and my multi-anchor, also in disagreement with Paul Moati here, because I'm taking the Lions $1.33 running through all my multis. They're going to value that home field advantage in at least in the semi-final. So I think they should have enough talent to go up there and knock off Counties Manukau. Herb played very well, obviously almost beat Canterbury a couple of weeks ago, but back in the Lions to get the job done. So this feels like one of the cardinal rules of punting. You to make the Lions your multi-anchor bet. I'm doing it.
He's gone and done it.
Yeah, I think he's just.
I'll take Canterbury. 47 there.
No respect for the Moati set this week.
I'll take Northland $1.30.
Yeah. Very hard to argue with that based on results on the field, but that'll do us for round 9 of the Bunnings NPC. Oh, it's going to be so good next week with 4 quarterfinals. Can't wait. Looks like we're going to get some really good matchups as well. We'll probably have fully figured out the format for the finals by the time we are
should
back in the studio next week. I
we
might
should.
actually do that before the podcast next week. But thank you for sitting through all that. If you're still listening, punters, hopefully managed to find you a winner or two. And please join us here next week as we get stuck into the knockout stages and the Women's World Cup. The footy just keeps on coming. How good.
And don't forget, come down to Wellington if you want to see the Loggerwood.